Taking a look back at all the colonizers that seized control of foreign land, most of them were cruel, inhumane, and brutal towards these indigenous people that once had control of their own land that contained all their culture and everything that was considered important to them. Not that these facts are completely false, but it's just one side of the truth, or just the head side of a coin that people don't usually flip when they think of colonizers in general. In this case, although Japan sort of gave the Taiwanese a hard time for 50 years, the benefits they brought to the Taiwanese culture and society are actually colossal and extremely beneficial to this day. The 3 points that will be covered in this video are firstly, the harms the Japanese caused to the Taiwanese society and culture, secondly, the benefits brought to the Taiwanese through a harsh colonization, and lastly, how the impact from Japanese colonization still affects the daily life or culture of the Taiwanese people. Japan had a lot of unique impacts on Taiwan, but as all colonizers do, they didn't treat the native Taiwanese in a benevolent way, which means that the Taiwanese were mistreated often during the 50-year rule. According to TACPA organization, the Taiwanese had a rather unstable and confused government before being colonized by Japan. Japan took advantage of the fact that Taiwan had a very weak government at the time and decided to strengthen it by holding complete power over the country's economical and political decisions. This piece of information shows that the Japanese simply seized control over Taiwan's government and started running the government in the way that pleases the Japanese people. This extremely impacts the lives of all the people living in Taiwan at the time because according to Random Editor of the South China Morning Post on Japanese colonization of Taiwan, these structures are always the same. There are about one set of people using power, ultimately coercive, violent, power to control another set of people. This quote explains that in order to have complete control over a country, the colonizers can't be benevolent and have to be fierce and savage in the way they control another set of people, who in this case are the Taiwanese people. The Japanese had a way to bring benefits to Taiwanese society, the government, and their culture, but the way they achieved it is simply too violent and harmful for the Taiwanese people. Although colonizing a country can be harmful to its citizens, Japan's colonization of Taiwan actually brought Taiwan huge amounts of benefits. The first benefit brought to Taiwan by Japan will be Japan's language, Japanese. Through colonization, Taiwan received a new language in which they learned from their colonizers. This impacts the lives of the Taiwanese because some future generations can learn Japanese early in their lives, which is super beneficial towards them. The second benefit Japan brought to Taiwan will be the Japanese culture. Things that are super common in the Japanese culture are all brought to Taiwan when the Japanese colonized Taiwan. Companies like Sanrio and Yakult are all companies founded in Japan and were later found to benefit the Taiwan economy. After having the mildly cruel colonizer for 50 years, the former president of Taiwan still wants to thank Japan for the benefit they brought over to Taiwan almost a decade ago. According to Reuters on October 25, 2018, Taiwan President Ma Ying-jeou said on Sunday it was important to remember the good things Japan did for the island while not forgetting the bad, as he marked 70 years since Japan gave up control of Taiwan at the end of World War II. Another example of benefits the Japanese gave Taiwan would be the benefits economically. While Japan took over, Taiwan had a very weak central government. Within Japanese rule, education systems, public healthcare services, and infrastructures greatly developed. According to the South China Morning Post by Random Editor on January 14, 2018, the Japanese masters created a new Taiwanese-Chinese middle class which benefited from improvements in education, public healthcare, and infrastructure commissioned by the colonial rulers. While the richer people in Taiwan stayed strong through the period of colonization, Japan directly focused on the poor and the middle-class people so there's more economy equality in the country. There are definitely benefits and harms throughout any colonization, but which one outweighs the other one after the 50 years of colonization of Taiwan by Japan? After weighing the negatives of colonization, which is some violence and some cultural ruling, and the benefits, which are increasing in education, healthcare services, economy, government power and stability, as well as development of infrastructures, the benefits obviously outweigh the harms. Nonetheless, let's take a look of Taiwan today post-colonization. The Ichiran ramen is now an iconic food in Taiwan after the Japanese introduced it to Taiwan a while back. Characters like Adam, Pikachu, Hello Kitty, Afro Ken, Totoro, and Doraemon are all very familiar in Taiwan due to Japanese colonization. Companies are earning loads of money each day in Taiwan for promoting the food and culture of Japan. In conclusion, although many might simply argue that Japan was cruel and harsh on native people, it's about time for people to flip their coin and see the other side. The good side about Japan colonizing Taiwan. Many people living in Taiwan today can't speak Japanese well because of colonization. There were definitely harms, but the benefits outweigh the harms. Japan brought harms to Taiwan, brought benefits to Taiwan, and is still heavily influential in Taiwan to this date.
这个很难讲啊。我们如果没有战，我们也会进步的。进步是自然现象。如果他们来很认真，他们的科技比较发达，他们日本人啊，他们明治维新之后啊，他们的科技比较进步，国家都有进步嘛。台湾就是把我们看成他们的那个居民嘛，他们主人，我们是比
用人一样啦，
比爱娃啊，仆人一样啊，
没有跟他们平等啦，
没有平等嘛，教育方面各方面
平等啦，
就业不一样啊，他们警察我们都怕得很，他们有派出所，现在警察，我们说警察来，大家都怕的，他们很凶啊。日本占领台湾，看总是自己的国家好，被人家占领变成殖民地啊，是不大好嘛，对不对？总是要不要被人家占领好了。不过他们来占了之后，对台湾老实讲，开发方面也有进步了。我也不会赞成说日本人来占我们了，实在讲啊。